What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P. Back once again. Is it Motor City Don P or is it Wycliffe Refugees on the microphone? Come on, leave the guns and the lives alone. Come on. No, it's me. It's Motor City Don P. Back once again. I know I fooled y'all. couldn't tell the difference between me and Wycliffe. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't tell the difference at all. But one thing is for certain, and three things are for sure. When you see me on your TV or on your mobile phone or on your tablet or your desktop or your laptop or wherever you're watching me from, and wherever you are watching me from, I thank you for it. But the first thing is that the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. The second thing is that we came to give you stats and not none of that static. We don't like static. But if you want the static, we can give it to you. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm talking about? And number three, perhaps most importantly, we want to make sure you're keeping your Lions news pragmatic. And you may be asking yourself that question. How does one keep their Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple. I'm glad you asked. Number one, you got to make sure you smash the like button. Number two, you got to make sure you share. Number three, you got to make sure you subscribe. But that is not in any particular order. That's just the order that they came out of my mouth. You could do whatever you want with that order. Just make sure you do all three of them. Because once you do all three of them, then you have done it. You have kept your Lions news pragmatic. We got some things that we got to get into today, man. We got to talk about one of my favorite topics, I guess. Monsieur Marcus Davenport. You know, shout out to Detroit Lions on SI. Shout out to Doc. Shout out Christian Boer. Did a preview based on Marcus Davenport. And we're going to get into what they had to say about such a person as Marcus Davenport. Y'all all know my stance on Marcus Davenport. Y'all all know that I believe that Marcus Davenport is a phenomenal player. I believe that he is tip of the top. I believe that he is the type of player that would be getting mentioned in the stratosphere and the same atmosphere as Aiden Hutchinson, as Myles Garrett, as Max Crosby, as Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, as TJ Watt. Like, he is a person that has the ability to be mentioned in the top tier, in the upper echelon of pass rushers in the NFL. But there's a very, 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 very large reason that he is not mentioned in this top tier, in this upper echelon. It is not because of talent. It is not because of work ethic. It is not because of any of those things. It is because of health. And it is health and health alone. Now, when we talk about the work ethic, I have a question. I'm not questioning his work ethic, but I have a question. And if anybody can answer that question, if we can get Coach Shep on the show, okay? Maybe not right now, but we're working towards that type of situation, right? Because I keeps it real. I keeps it raw. I keeps it realistic. My question is this. Coach Shep said, I've seen that player take no days off this offseason. He also said that he, basically had rededicated himself to taking care of his body and blah, 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 blah. So my question is simply, why now is that what we're hearing? Why didn't we hear that last year? Why didn't we hear that anywhere else? Now, Marcus Davenport was drafted by the Saints. Then after the Saints, he did a brief stint, I think it was a year, with the Vikings. And then that's when he came to us. So my question is, I didn't hear anything when he was with the Saints. I didn't hear anything when he was with the Vikings because I don't care about the Saints or the Vikings. Okay. I do care about the Vikings because they're in our division. But am I listening to the media from New Orleans? Am I listening to the media from Minnesota? No. So this is why I didn't hear anything. But now when you come to the Lions, the first year I didn't hear any of that. The second year I'm hearing that. And I just wonder, was he not doing this before? That's my question. Was he not doing this before? I've seen him take no days off, says Coach Shep. Was he taking days off before? I've seen him rededicate himself to the craft and da 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 da. Was he not doing that before? This is my question. If he wasn't doing that before, then I understand the reason for the optimism around his health. If he was doing that before, I don't understand the reason for the optimism around his health. If he wasn't doing that before, I don't understand the reason for the optimism around his production, because is this just a contract year type of situation? Hold on. I need to let this cat out because this dude's go. Are you okay? This man is just running all around the freaking house, bro. Okay. So I don't understand the optimism, because is this just a contract year type of situation? Is it because he's got 4.75 million in no guarantees pretty much, right? It's all incentivized. Not every last penny of it, right? He's probably guaranteed the vet minimum, but it's vastly all like 95% of his contract is incentivized, right? So is that the reason? Because they dangled the bag in your face and they said, you could have this if you can stay healthy, if you can stay on the field, if you can play X amount of snaps, what have you. Is that the reason that the dedication has come this season? Because if so, then that's also a red flag. Look, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, they got a certain type of guy. Marcus Davenport is not going to be the type of guy if that's the reason, if that's the motivation, if the money to get the bag is the motivation for him dedicating himself. I don't think that he's the type of person that's going to be on this team. So I'll give him more credit than that. I'll give Brad and Dan more credit than that. But I just still have the question. Why say that? I've seen this player take no days off this offseason. Is it just is it is it something that Coach Shep said to kind of play up his work ethic, his attitude, his mood, right? Even though he went down with this injury in week 2 and he couldn't play for the rest of the season, he's still taking no days off. He's still hungry. He still got that fire. Maybe. Maybe that's what it is. And we'll take it as such. We'll be positive with this one. Okay? Because as I said, I'm not trying to demean or diminish his character at all. I don't know. I'm not saying he's rededicating himself for the bag. I'm just throwing things out there. These are just things that I wonder about. Okay? So we'll say for now, and hopefully this is what it is, that I've seen this player take no days off, which was said by Coach Shep regarding Marcus Davenport, is just a way to show that he's still tremendously hungry. He's still got a raging fire burning in his belly to play this game. Um, and he wants to do nothing else but play football and be healthy. And I honestly hope, 100% from the bottom of my heart, I honestly hope that that happens for Marcus Davenport. Right? I honestly hope that that happens for Marcus Davenport, that he's able to do that, because not only would it be good for him, it would be great for our team if he was able to come through and be that guy. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the article and look at what they are talking about as in terms of the preview. Okay, So as I said, this is from Detroit Lions on SI. This was Christian Boer. Okay. Now, Christian, if you mention Mitchell Lagood, I'm gonna crash out. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna crash out. All right. Um, pop this shot out right quick. Mm-mm. You know, before I get started with an article, I got to pop the chat out so I can see what y'all are saying. Okay. So, training camp preview. Can Davenport be desired edge solution? Okay. And we all hope that Marcus Davenport is the edge solution. Okay. Nothing would make me happier, especially if they don't bring back Big Z. Nothing would make me happier than to see Marcus Davenport play 17 games in the regular season and 3 to 4 games in the postseason, depending on if we have the 1 seed or not. If we have the 1 seed, 3 games. If we don't have the 1 seed, 4 games. Okay. That's just, I'd love to see it. I don't have any basis, anything to go on as to why you would see it, but I would love to see it. All right. So the Detroit Lions have one of the league's best edge rushers, but a season-ending injury hurt the group's performance in 2024. When Aiden Hutchinson went down with a leg injury, the Lions struggled to force sacks as a collective group. Hutchinson returned this offseason, and there's little concern about the long-term ramifications of the injury. However, the key in 2025 will be to complement his performance with a strong supporting cast. Here is a breakdown of where the Lions stand at the edge position heading into training camp. Reasons for hope. Hutchinson's return from injury is the ultimate reason for optimism, as he will bring elite level production. He was playing at a record pace last year with 7.5 sacks in 5 games, putting him on pace to approach the single season sack record had he stayed healthy throughout the season. I don't know what a record is. Sorry, I just don't. I said it, but I don't know what it is. Even if Hutchinson is not that exact level this year, his ability to pressure the quarterback with a rare blend of speed and power makes him a constant threat to be in opposing backfields. As long as he is healthy, Detroit's pass rush has an elite top level anchor. Opposite of him, the Lions invested in a pair of players who contribute last year. Marcus Davenport's back on an incentive-laden 1-year deal. He showed he's capable of contributing on a limited audition last year as his season ended with a torn triceps in week number 3. Okay? Remember, he missed week number 2 with a groin. Okay, so week number 3 was only his second game. If Davenport can stay healthy, the Lions appear to have confidence in his ability to be a serious factor. El Qadim Muhammad is also back after being a reliable contributor as a midseason addition last year. I feel it coming. I feel it coming. Pause. But I can feel a Mitchell Lagood coming on. All right, Josh Pascal is in the mix in what will be the final year of his rookie deal. While Pascal has yet to unlock his pass rush ability, he'll be steady against the run. That was in Reason for Hope. Okay, so the Reason for Hope was finished off with Josh Pascal is in the mix and will be the final year of his rookie deal. So the only thing I can say about that, okay, he'll be in the mix. It's his final year. He hasn't unlocked his pass rush potential. The only hope for Josh Pascal to unlock his pass rush potential is because he's in his final year of his rookie deal, thus making it a contract year. And we know what happens in contract years. We know what happens. Players in contract years tend to ball out. If Josh Pascal is going to get the contract year bump, then cool. I don't care what Josh Pascal does against the run. Okay? Because I feel like that's a given. I feel like Josh Pascal is going to go out there and do his thing against the run. I think that's what he does. Now, there was that Buffalo game where he missed a ton of tackles. Nobody talks about that. So we're just going to hope that Josh Pascal goes out there and does his thing against the run. And he doesn't miss a ton of tackles like he did in the Buffalo game. That's fine. Cool. Hoping that he adds some sort of pass rush repertoire, ability, something is all hinging on the contract year. That's it. Like if he's got to get that contract year bump and he's got to go crazy because saying that he hasn't unlocked his pass rush potential is actually a little bit tame. He's been in the league for 3 years, has 5 sacks. Mm-mm. No bueno. No bueno at all. What up though, Taylor Made Media? He says Pascal's got a new DC. If that don't get him going, nothing will. I feel like if the contract don't get him going, nothing will. And be careful. Okay? Josh Pascal has 5 sacks in his career. Be careful. If that man goes out and gets 5 sacks or more this season, be careful. Because giving him the bag when he has not produced at all, be careful. Just saying. All right. Now, fortunately, there was no mention of Mitchell Lagoud, so I don't have to crash out. Thank you, Christian Brewer. All right. Reason for worry. Last season, the Lions finished 23rd in sacks. Though Hutchinson's injuries certainly didn't help matters, the overall depth at the position left more to be desired from a production standpoint. This is what I've been saying the entire offseason. Detroit's defensive line did a good job of getting into the backfield. However, finishing plays with sacks proved to be a tough challenge. A full season of Hutchinson and Davenport, the Lions hope will yield different results. However, Davenport has yet to play a full season since being drafted in the first round of the 2018 draft. Okay? Remember, I said at the top, Marcus Davenport is the type of player that would be mentioned with the Aiden Hutchinsons, the Myles Garretts, the Max Crosbys, the Bosa brothers, and so on and so forth. He was a first round pick for a reason. Out of, what was it, UTEP or something, UTSA, something like that. Very, unheralded school, but he put in the work when he was in college. Okay, so he went from a small school to a first round draft pick in the NFL. Generally, you don't do that unless you're that dude. Okay? Mike Green would have done the same thing this year if he could keep it in his pants. I'm just being honest. Okay? If he could keep it in his pants, pause, then he probably would have been a first round pick. And the only reason that he was at a small school is because couldn't keep it in his pants, pause, and he had to leave Virginia, which is a larger school. Obviously, everyone knows it. Okay? He leaves Virginia and goes to Marshall. Okay? Went to a smaller school so that, one, he wouldn't have the notoriety and all that stuff and the fanfare going in there. And two, so he could kind of work his way back into the good graces. And he got all the way up to the 3rd round. Congratulations. But Marcus Davenport came from a small school. I think it was UTSA. Someone can fact check me if that's important to you. He was the man at UTSA. I think it was UTSA. Again, please fact check me in the chat. Then he got to the NFL and proceeded to never play a full season. His closest was 15 games. He did that once. Okay? All right, let's continue. That's crazy. You've got to be extremely athletic to go from UTSA to the first round in the NFL. Exactly. But was it UTSA? Please fact check me. Hold on, I got my phone. I'll do it because I like to be factually correct, and I'm also not afraid to tell you that I didn't know something. Um, okay, where did Marcus Davenport go to college? University of Texas at San Antonio. UTSA. Yes, correct. Okay. Um, it is still D1, but it's UTSA. If you can tell me a color in their uniform, I'll give you a cookie. I think orange is one of the colors. I think they're orange and blue, right? Like Syracuse. I think they've got a similar color scheme to Syracuse. But I'm also thinking of UTEP. That would be crazy if UTEP, because it's University of Texas El Paso, and then UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, had the same kind of color schemes. That would be nuts. Anyway, so as you said, you've got to be extremely athletic to go from UTSA to the first round in the NFL. So he goes from UTSA to the first round in the NFL, and he doesn't disappoint as far as his ability. Like I said, his best year, he only played 11 games, but he had 9 sacks. Only played 11 games, he had 9 sacks. Josh Pascal has played in a hell of a lot more games than 11 and only has 5 sacks in his entire career over 3 years. Okay. What up, though, Jody Carruthers? So, yes, let's get back to this. Durability will be a major factor for him as the best version of the Lions defense features a healthy version of him. Again, I want to reiterate, I hope Marcus Davenport stays healthy. I hope. I want Marcus Davenport to stay healthy. I need Marcus Davenport to stay healthy. I do not wish injury on that man. I wish nothing but health, prosperity, propagation, profit, but no propaganda. Okay? I, I hope that he gets all of that money. And I've said it many times. Every last red cent of the $4.75 million. I hope he gets all of that money. I hope he gets all of it to, like, I don't even want his agent to get his 3%. Okay, I want it all to go to Marcus Davenport. I don't want Uncle Sam to get none of it. I want Marcus Davenport to get every cent of that money. 4.75 million, tax free. Okay, that's what I want from Marcus Davenport. And they play A&M to kick off the 25 season. I don't even know what happens in UTS. I think the only reason I know UTSA is because of Marcus Davenport. So Brad Holmes' decision to wait until the 6th round to draft an edge also puzzled some pundits. All of the pundits were puzzled. All of them. But listen, I told y'all before the draft. I said that if Brad Holmes doesn't draft with the 28th pick an edge or trade up to draft an edge, it's going to create anxiety. And we had edge anxiety all the way until the 6th round. And then at some point, everyone erupted in this, I don't know, Euphoria. Like everyone was euphoric. And shout out Ahmed Hassanin. Shout out Ahmed's dad. Shout out all of that. Brad Holmes waiting until the sixth round to address the edge position was weird. Brad Holmes thinking that everyone wanted a superstar edge opposite Hutchinson, which would be nice. We're not going to tell you that we don't want that. But Brad Holmes thinking that we're spoiled because we have Aiden Hutchinson and we think everyone that we get is just going to be as good. Never said that, Brad. Never said that. We just said, please give us someone that could win one-on-ones. When you set this man up with a one-on-one, let him win it. That's all we want. And obviously, Aiden doesn't win one-on-ones all the time. Okay? But show me the ability to win one-on-ones. How many times has Josh Pascal showed you the ability to win a one-on-one? How many times has Levi Onwuzurike showed you the ability to win a one-on-one? That was the point. That was the point. We wanted a rookie, man. A rookie. That tells you all you need to know. Yes, you could have a dude that's a stud in college and he could be a stud in the NBA, in the NFL, but he's a rookie. And we don't know what any rookie is. We don't know what any rookie is going to be in the NFL until they take the field and they do NFL stuff. If you're not doing NFL stuff, then quite frankly, we don't know who you are as an NFL player. Is that fair to say? If you're not involved in NFL stuff on the NFL football field, then we as fans have no idea who you are as an NFL player. Ooh, I got something. I got something that I'm going to get into a little bit later. Please don't let me forget. Don't let me forget. Because this one's going to be good. They did backflips over the Betts kid from the CFL last offseason. No, some people did backflips. Crazy people did backflips about Betts. I was not backflipping about Betts at all. At all. No. That was crazy. That was even crazier than what we're doing this year. He's the CFL sack king. He's in the CFL for a reason. Could he have been the next Cameron Wake? We'll never know. We'll never know. Jody. No, I didn't. It didn't show up. That's crazy. Because they usually do pop right on up. Let me see. Nope, nothing popped up. All good, all good. But I appreciate you, Jody. Appreciate you sending that. Yeah, they were yeah. They were the Matthew Betts. Okay. I think they were calling him Matu to try to sound more French. Matthew Betts. Yeah. Okay. All right, Jody. Thank you. Thank you again. What up, though, Tactical Sport? Okay. So yes, the Brad Holmes in the sixth round and the thinking that everyone wanted a superstar. Yes, we'd love Myles Garrett. Yes, we'd love Max Crosby. Yes, we'd love TJ Watt. Yes, we'd love Trey Hendrickson. Yes, we would have loved a trade for Kayvon Thibodeau. Yes, all of these things. Yes to all of these things. Did we need them to happen? No. We need Big Z. That's all we need. Big Z and Marcus Davenport, I'm fine. Opposite Hutch. We're fine. All right. So again, it says Brad Holmes' decision to wait until the sixth round to draft an edge also puzzled some pundits, as that was viewed as their biggest area of need. However, Holmes has traditionally been a very thorough evaluator and unwilling to compromise fit for need. Training camp battle. Davenport appears to be the first guy up opposite of Hutchinson heading into camp. But with Lions' desire for competition, that spot will be up for grabs. No, it won't. See, this again, no. See, no, no, no. Absolutely not. See, I'm about to crash out. He tried this before. This is not a battle. I've said this before. Pascal and Muhammad could certainly challenge for that spot, though. No, they can't. What are we doing? What up, though, Flying Hawaiian? See, we were having a nice time. We were having a nice time. We were talking about Marcus Davenport, his health. We were talking about Matthew Betts. We were talking about all types of stuff. And then we said Josh Pascal and El Qadim Muhammad could challenge for Marcus Davenport's spot. I'm done reading. I'm done. Okay? I'm done. I'm not. I can't do that anymore. Um anyway, as I've said, Marcus Davenport training camp battle is with health. Marcus Davenport's training camp battle is with his own personal health. Marcus Davenport is battling his knees, his hamstrings, his elbows, his triceps, his shoulders, his hands, his fingers, and his feet and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and nose, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Okay, this is what Marcus Davenport is battling in training camp. There is not another human being on the Detroit Lions whose Marcus Davenport is battling for a position. Stop it. Just stop it. I will not entertain. I will not entertain this boulder dash and this poppycock. Okay? You've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Okay? Shout out to Plymouth, Michigan. Okay. I'm done with that. It was going well, man. It was going well. It was going well. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to get Christian on the show. I'm gonna have to hit Doc up and ask Christian to come on the show. And I don't want to lambast him. I don't want to I'm not even gonna flame him. I just want to know what he sees. I just want to know what he sees in Mitchell Agood. I just want to know what he sees in Josh Pascal, El Qadim Muhammad. El Qadim Muhammad came in and had like 3 sacks last year. Josh Pascal, we know I don't feel anything about Josh Pascal as far as his ability to get to the pass rusher, the passer. Okay, El Qadim Muhammad is a better pass rusher than Josh Pascal. Does Josh Pascal play the run better than El Qadim? Probably, yes. Okay. If El Qadim got the same opportunities that Josh Pascal has gotten, Would El Qadim be a better player? I don't know. But El Qadim Muhammad and Josh Pascal is a battle. That's a battle. Okay? Marcus Davenport is not battling with another human being on the team. Come on. As I said, Marcus Davenport is in the same tier as Aiden Hutchinson. He just doesn't stay healthy. What are we doing? Taylor Made says, if I'm coaching Marcus Davenport, I tell him, there we go. All right, there you go. Jody Carruthers with the $20 super chat. What up, though? Appreciate you, Jody Carruthers. Let me see if I got let me see if I got a sound effect for that one. I do. Okay, now they're taking me to Voice Lab 2.0. So hold on, let me get my my stuff here. Okay. They threw me for a loop there. All right, here we go. All right. Jody Carruthers with the $20 super chat. Okay. I know y'all heard it. Okay. So Taylor Made says, if I'm coaching Marcus Davenport, I tell him, you've got to move like a former first rounder, son, or find a gig doing construction or some ish, period. Oh, Taylor Made, my guy. Just so that all the hip hop heads are aware, Clip's new album dropped yesterday. Yes. Shout out Rap Cave. Flying Hawaiian says, in Pascal's defense, he is a DT who can play the edge, not a true DE. I don't know what started the conversation, but I don't think he's a threat to Davenport starting. So what started the conversation, Flying Hawaiian, just to catch you up, it's an article from Detroit Lions on SI, and basically it is a preview, a training camp preview about Marcus Davenport. And it was we were doing well. And then that happened. then Christian Boer said that Marcus Davenport could be challenged by El Qadim Muhammad and Josh Pascal, which is it's absolutely false. It's absolutely false. It just doesn't make any sense. I think what with Josh Pascal, I think they like him playing on the inside, but they've had to play him on the outside far too often. And having to play him on the outside, you're right, doesn't make him an edge. His body type is he's more of a tweener. Same with Levi Onwuzurike. When you look at Levi Onwuzurike, you don't see an edge, and you also don't see a defensive tackle. If you look at Levi Onwuzurike's body, you might lean more defensive tackle, or you might lean more edge. It just depends on how you like your edges. Okay, but yeah, that was what happened, and that's why I'm done. I don't know how we said the same thing. Okay. To be clear, there is no battle in training camp for a starting edge position. No one is battling Aiden Hutchinson. No one is battling Marcus Davenport. The only battles in training camp for edge position are rotational pieces and backup roles. That is it. If Marcus Davenport stays healthy, which I really do hope he does, okay? I don't have any reason for optimism about his health, but I really do hope that he can get that together. I really do. Because if he can, then Marcus Davenport and Aiden Hutchinson would be a. Would you say? Would you agree if I said a healthy Marcus Davenport and a healthy Aiden Hutchinson is a top 5 duo? I might even say top 3. If you're talking about pass rush duos, edge rush duos, right now we're looking at see, it's tactical. I know. We're having a hypothetical conversation. Stop laughing. This isn't a comedy show. This is serious business right now, man. Okay. But would you say this? Okay, let's look at anyone that is in contention. Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart. Neither one of them wants to even play for the team. So they're out. They're out 100%. TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. Okay. Is TJ Watt better than Aiden Hutchinson? Yes. Is it by a long shot or a mile? I don't know. TJ's been at it much longer. Aiden Hutchinson is coming into his own. Everyone believed that Aiden Hutchinson, had he remained healthy throughout this season, he would have gotten Defensive Player of the Year, no question. Had he stayed on that same path that he was on, he would have broken the single season sack record, and he would have gotten Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt hasn't broken the single season sack record. He doesn't hold it. So is he better than Aiden Hutchinson by a mile? No. Is he marginally better? No. I think he is markedly better. I'm looking for a word that's not disrespectful to Aiden Hutchinson. I would say and then I'm looking for a word that's not disrespectful to TJ Watt. I don't want to say slightly better. I don't want to say clearly better because, again, this feels disrespectful. I think they're comparable. How about that? Is that a better word to say? He said Marcus Davenport healthy for a whole season is both mouthwatering and laughable, unfortunately. Yes, it is unfortunate. Okay. So I'll say that TJ Watt and Aiden Hutchinson are comparable. Is that fair? But with TJ Watt being better. Unequivocally, again, it sounds like he's just like clearing out Aiden Hutchinson. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make that. I don't want to put that out there. So if I say that they're comparable, yes, right? Because like unequivocally, drastically, clearly, markedly, all these things are Marcus Davenport against everyone else on the roster not named Aiden Hutchinson. TJ Watt is marginally better until proven otherwise, which will happen this season. So you think he's just a little bit better? Okay. All right. He does have over 100 sacks, but yes, he has been at it for longer. I think he's got like 120 or 110 or something like that. He's a rush linebacker, though. You know what I mean? That's why he has so many sacks. He's not really dropping into coverage like that. Like Aiden Hutchinson has more interceptions than TJ Watt. Aiden Hutchinson has more interceptions than Jeffrey Namumbo Ohel Nokuda. Do not forget that. And I do have something on that. Stay tuned. A little bit of Twitter beef. I'll explain it to you later, but I don't want to get too far off topic before, getting into that. So, no, we're making we said pass rush duos. Okay. This is why I said pass rush duos. So I didn't say edge rush duos. pass rush duos. So TJ Watt is a pass rusher. Um, is Alex Highsmith better than Marcus Davenport? No. Okay. So that's one that's in contention for being a better duo than a healthy Marcus Davenport and Aiden Hutchinson. Okay. I think that one is a wash because if we said that, would it be a wash? No. I would give Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport the slight edge because if you say that Aiden Hutchinson or TJ Watt is marginally better than Aiden Hutchinson, I think Alex Highsmith eats because of TJ Watt. I think Marcus Davenport eats because of Marcus Davenport. You understand what I'm saying? So I think you have two top tier guys by themselves. Aiden Hutchinson is a top tier guy. Marcus Davenport is a top tier guy. He's not top tier because he plays opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson is not top tier because he plays opposite of Marcus Davenport. Right? If you put Alex Highsmith in the top tier, it would be because he played opposite of TJ Watt. And I don't even think you're putting him in the top tier. Okay. So who else do we have? As far as a pass rush duo, you got Myles Garrett and who's on the other side of him? Don't know. You got Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz. Is Max Crosby better than Aiden Hutchinson? Hutch has more interceptions than Sauce Gardner. Hutch has more interceptions than Sauce Gardner because people weren't throwing at Sauce Gardner for at least the first year of his career. So, yeah, Hutch has what? Three or four picks? I feel like it's four. Could be three, though. So that's the question. Is Max Crosby better than Aiden Hutchinson? Hutch has four, yes. This is a question. Y'all got to answer it. There you go. But Sauce is more like so Sauce is likely to get more. Jeffrey Namumbo or Hel Nakuda's not very likely. You can't really get interceptions from the bench. Unless Tim Boyle is your quarterback. But then those interceptions wouldn't count because they're out of bounds. Let me know, people. Let me know. Is Max Crosby better than Aiden Hutchinson? That is the next question. Because I for damn sure know that Malcolm Kuntz is not better than Marcus Davenport. I'm struggling to find a pass rushing duo that would be better than a healthy Marcus Davenport and a healthy Aiden Hutchinson. Right? And this is why Brad Holmes is willing to roll the dice. It's a dice roll, right? You roll dice, you can crap out. Okay? Or you can keep rolling sevens. You can keep rolling sixes, doubles. But you don't want that snake eyes. Crosby was better with Hutch was just coming into the league, but after last season, if Hutch continues on his trajectory, Hutch will be better. Okay. So I think it would be easier doing this in the chat. Name me a pass rushing duo that's better than Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport, assuming health. Max slightly better than Hutch only because he's been going in the game longer and has been pretty healthy. What up, though, Chris Bird? Uh, Taylor May says, I don't get better. I don't get into who's better. You got 11 on both sides. Each man has a job to do on each snap. Yes, but this is the off season, and we're making a list. This is the off season, and we're making a list in preparation for the regular season. Tactical Sports says, honestly, I wouldn't pay Max more than Hutch. Is he better? I'd say right now, yes, but marginally. If I'm building a team and have a choice, I'd pick Hutch. Okay. So again, marginally better. Malcolm Kuntz, not better than Marcus Davenport. So that's why I'm saying, can you guys look around? You can use the Google machine. Do you have a pass rushing duo that is better than Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport, assuming health? If you have one, do you have two? If you have two, I'm sure you don't have a third. Okay. So at worst, I think that Marcus Davenport and Aiden Hutchinson, or Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport, is top 3 overall. You could say also that they're top 2 when they're not 2. Because I'm trying to find one. I'm scanning my mental Rolodex. He said right now, no. See, Tactical, you got to believe. You got to be positive. You got to believe in Marcus Davenport's health. Like, get you somebody who looks at you the way Brad Holmes looks at Marcus Davenport. Okay? But that's the point. So I do believe that this is the reason that Brad Holmes is so willing to roll the dice. You have Marcus Davenport at maximum of 4.75 million for this season. That is a maximum. And that is, as I said, 95% incentives. Pause. No Diddy. No Diddy. Even though the jury said yes, Diddy, we still say no, Diddy. Yes, Diddy, you can keep on doing what you're doing. Not guilty. Not guilty. Shout out Boondocks. If you know, you know. Use the hashtag. But I do believe that is why Brad Holmes is so comfortable. I mean, it's a big gamble. It's a big risk because of his health. But you're paying him nothing. If he doesn't do anything, you're paying him nothing. Pennies on the dollar. If he does everything that he's supposed to do, you're paying him nothing. Because 4.75 million for a top tier upper echelon pass rusher is crazy. It is crazy that you don't pay anything more than that. Right? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna, before we wrap up and we get into mailbag and all this stuff, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. Okay? I'm gonna tell y'all what happened with my Twitter beef. Okay, y'all ready? This is interesting. I got to pull it up so we can so I can remember how it started. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I got to get into the original post here. Okay. All right. So Jeremy Reisman, y'all know Jeremy Reisman, Pride of Detroit, right? He says, I know it didn't work out in Detroit, but man, I miss Aubrey Pleasant. He brought some big energy. Because Pride of Detroit said what I just said pretty much. Okay. Y'all can see the right. Says, find yourself someone who looks at you the way Aubrey Pleasant looks at Jared Goff. Okay. So if y'all still haven't seen quarterback, what are y'all doing? You're sleeping. But this was from when they played the Rams this season, or this past season, and we won first week of the season. And Aubrey Pleasant met Jared Goff out at the midfield, and they were talking. So I'm not gonna say who this is because again, I'm not doing this to call people out. Like if you deserve to be called out, I'll call you out. But this is some Twitter stuff. So whatever. So this guy responds, he says, good dude. Okuda played well when he was there, but that was it. I said, what the actual F are you smoking? Laugh, laugh, laugh. So he gives me this GIF. Now, this GIF says, now this is from Michael David Smith. I'll say this because y'all know who Michael David Smith is. He says, Jeff Okuda has mostly covered Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, and Justin Jefferson this season. Smith, 0 yards versus Lions, 249 yards in 2 other games. McLaurin, 75 yards versus the Lions, 160 yards in 2 other games. Are you telling me that he amassed 160 yards in 2 other games, or that he posted 160 yards in 2 other games? I'm guessing you're saying that because if you're telling me he amassed it, then it's just 80 yards. It's regular, right? If he gets 5 less yards, okay? And then Jefferson, 14 yards versus the Lions, 232 yards in 2 other games. Now, when you post Jefferson stats against Jeffrey Okuda, I know you don't know what you're watching. Okay? This man is my nemesis. He's my archenemy. Okay? Hunter and Will Anderson are probably better. Okay, Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. I can see that. I can see that. Okay. If you find any more, just let me know. All right. So when you start talking about Jeffrey Namumba Okuda locking down Justin Jefferson, that we stopped talking at that point. So he posted that, and then he goes, what did he say? Do you remember his first few weeks in 2022? He locked up Devonta Smith, Scary Terry, and Justin Jefferson. Just being honest. You're not being honest. I said, do you remember all of the safety help he had over the top? Do you remember that DK Metcalf called him out for it? Do you remember what happened 140 yards and a TD later when AG let him go man-to-man versus DK? Twitter is for degenerate, debauchery, and Nazis. I try to stay away from that place. Well, I can't stay away from the place because It brings content, it brings news, and it's just for me, it's only sports. It's nothing else. I don't deal with anything else. I don't deal with politics ever. So I'm not there for that. I'm only there for Lions and Detroit sports and NFL and NBA and all this stuff. Okay? I'm not there for baseball. Sorry. What is it with Lions fans? They don't want to like admit we've had so many bad players over the years. We should be able to admit when someone's bad. I understand Jeffrey Namumbo Elhanokuda was drafted third overall, and he should not have been. I say we should have taken Justin Herbert, or we could have taken Isaiah Simmons. We could have taken someone who would have been of benefit to this football team. He was bad, guys. Like, stop trying to throw like revisionist history in there. Oh, remember when he locked down Justin Jefferson? He did not do that. He didn't. It didn't happen. DK Metcalf told you he all right, but he got safety help over the top. Aaron Glenn was like, "You gonna let him talk to you like that?" Jeffrey Namomo Okuda was like, "Hell no, I ain't gonna let him talk to me like that." What you gonna do, Jeff? I'm gonna give up 140 yards in a tud. Stop it, man. Stop it. Jeffrey Namumbo Okuda is my arch nemesis. I will not stand for any praise, any accolades, any adulation, any fondness for Jeffrey Namumbo Okuda as a Detroit Lion. He was barbecue chicken, burnt toast sandwich. He was a sandwich of barbecue chicken and burnt toast. There was no lettuce, tomatoes, mayonnaise, pickles, or onions. It was just dry, burnt toast with barbecue chicken. And it was char grilled with no sauce. Do you understand what I'm saying? It wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't palatable. Okay, if you took a bite out of it, it didn't go down easy. You probably just spit it out. You probably just started chewing and you just spit it out. You said, I can't stomach this. That's what it was like watching that man on this team. Stop it. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. The only good thing that happened was with him on this team was Justin Fields, a former teammate in college, threw him a lollipop. Lollipop, lollipop, oh la la lollipop, lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, it was a lollipop. It just, it was like a punt. He just stood underneath it and caught it and returned it for a pick six. Helped us beat Chicago. That's it. Flying Hawaiian said, "You don't seem to have a problem ish talking on staff." I don't. I don't. I said Lions fans. I didn't say myself in particular. If I felt that a player was not good as a Lion, I will talk about it. Just like I talk about Jeffrey Namumbo Helnokuda. You mean how we shouldn't have drafted Roderick Martin? Facts. We shouldn't have drafted him either. Okay? But you know why I don't have the same energy towards Broderick Martin? Because Broderick Martin was drafted in 3-2. It was the third round, not number 3 overall. Okay? I can't name you a bunch of people that you should have drafted over Broderick Martin that would have been an immediate impact on the team because it was the third round. I'm telling you, everybody in the first round was probably a better pick than Jeffrey Namumbo or Hel Nakuda. That's my point. Not only did we draft someone who has done nothing for us, we traded up to get him. That's not worse than drafting a player number 3 overall who was absolute garbage. Because number 3 overall has expectations. Okay, Puka was drafted after Broderick Martin. There you go. What the heck? I got Gemini over here talking about Project Martin. I'm just saying, like, if we're talking about a wasted draft pick, yes, Broderick Martin was a wasted draft pick. Okay, we could have had Tua, but sorry, not Tua. Goddamn, not Tua. We could have had Puka. That's fine, but I'm not sitting up here crashing out over the fact that we didn't have Puka, that we didn't get Puka, because we got Amon Ra, we got JMO. Okay. Now, when we were searching for a number 3 receiver, when before we got Tim Patrick, when everyone was losing their minds in training camp last season, yeah. Okay. Could you use Puka on your team? Yeah. Okay, but we already also have Sam Laporta and we have Jahmyr Gibbs and we have David Montgomery. Like, we're good. Okay, we're good. My thing is this: the way that everyone glazes Justin Herbert for not really doing much of anything, that could have been your quarterback. So the way that people are split on Jared Goff, if you would have got a big dude in here, I think Justin Herbert's what, 6'5", has some ability to run, right? Can throw the freaking cover off the ball. If you brought that guy in here instead of Jeffrey Namumbo, I don't know where your fortunes lie as a franchise right now, but you were gonna get Brad and Dan. And the reason you were gonna get Brad and Dan is because Justin Herbert wasn't gonna play because Stafford was here. But because Fatty Matty Patty and Quinn and Bob Quinn had a win now mandate, they didn't do something which goes, let's set this franchise up for the future. We'll draft a corner who can't play at number 3 overall because we're being irrational and stupid. That's why I have this type of energy towards Jeffrey Namumbo Ohel Nokuda. And the fact that while not playing well, he was just chirping at the fans. Instead of being humble, keeping his head down, is getting better. He's engaging with the fans on social media. The same way people dislike Eric Ebron for that, it's the same with Jeffrey Namumbo for me. Flying Hawaiian says, I always chuckle when I hear Puka's name because Puka is Hawaiian for whole. Well, there you go. Isn't Puka Hawaiian though? Or is he Samoan? I think Herbert has been mismanaged for most of his career. If he doesn't get it together, it may be time for a change in scenery. And so that what you just said, tactical sport, is very important. Because essentially, Justin Herbert's rookie season which he played, and he had like 5,000 yards, right? His rookie season would have been on the bench. So his first year starting would have been under Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what Mark Brunell would have been able to do with a talent such as Justin Herbert? And again, I'm not poo pooing on Goff because I think what happens in this situation, do we send Stafford to the Rams or do we send him somewhere else? Because there's no way he was going to stay anyway, and especially if you drafted his replacement. And it was the only sensible thing to do, to draft a quarterback, because your quarterback had been with you for 12 years and he was breaking down. He had broken bones in his back, broken this, broken that. Nakua is not a Hawaiian that Nakoa would be. He's close. I don't know where is he from? So that's all I'm saying. Like, Jeffrey Namumbo was the wrong pick. He was the wrong pick. And for the Lions fans that have some affinity, I'm not, he might be a good dude. I don't know. I don't know him personally. But he was the absolute wrong pick for this franchise. And when someone comes across my timeline on some BS, whoa, remember when he didn't lock up anybody ever in his NFL career. He never locked up a single wide receiver. He never did. He got burnt by countless. He tore his Achilles while getting burnt by Debo Samuel. Imagine that you're putting so much strain on your body to try to get back into the frame after you get blown out of it by Debo Samuel that you tell your Achilles. It was a bad football player, bro. And the fact that you know what? The fact that he came back to the NFC North after he quote unquote had many offers means he wants to smoke. It means he wants to smoke. So I hope that he's in the game. Both times when we play Minnesota, I hope he makes the team just so we can torch his ass when he gets in the game against us. And I hope they put him in the game. That's what I hope. The Rams made the most sense. Holmes connection plus Snead, willing to give up so many picks. Well, if we had Justin Herbert, I mean, you give us more picks. I don't know what they would have done with Goff. They probably would have sent him somewhere else. I don't know. But that's my point. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I know he's from Utah, man. I'm talking about his heritage. We talking about, is he Hawaiian? Is he a Pacific Islander? Is he Samoan? You talk about some Utah. Yeah, we know. We know he played in Utah, man. Oh my goodness. So yeah, man. Just listen. If y'all come across this bullcrap too with Jeffrey Namumbo, just shut it down, man. Yeah, we gotta start holding each other accountable. Shut it down. He was not a good football player on the Detroit Lions. He wasn't, and he's a special teams player right now. He's a special teams player. He went from third overall pick in the 2020 draft to special teams player to his fourth team in as many years. Come on, dude. See? Nakua is apparently Samoan, Hawaiian, Portuguese, a common mixture in Hawaii. Puka might be Samoan and mean something else. Yeah. Are the languages similar? I don't want to make the assumption. I don't want to say yeah because like no. I'm asking the question. Are the languages similar? Yes. Okay. Played in Washington, then for BYU. Right. BYU is in Utah, right? Brigham Young. Isn't he like the Mormon guy? So anyway, that's me getting on my soapbox, man. I just it pisses me off when I see it. It's just like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we talking about? It's there's it's actual evidence on tape. All you have to do is go and watch it. Just go watch it. That's the thing. Like when we have these crazy takes about things that you can just go and watch. Go watch it. If you don't remember it, go rewatch it. It's available. It's not lost. It's available. You can watch it. Just pull it up. Just pull it up. That's all you got to do is pull it up. Just pull it up. Anyway, mailbag. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Mailbag. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? All right, if y'all got mailbag questions, go ahead and get them in. Taylor Made Media mailbag says I tuned into quarterbacks last night. I fell asleep after seeing Jared Goff's dog in a tuxedo shirt. Does that make me a casual? I didn't see the dog in the tuxedo shirt because most of the time I was listening, I wasn't watching. Um, and I feel like that's a show that you can listen to because you've seen all the football. You know what I mean? Um, the home life is great. I don't care too much about what people do at home. That's their home. It's a private situation. If they choose to let you into it, that's fine. But I really don't really get too much into home lives. Um, so yes, I was just listening. I don't think you're a casual because you fell asleep. You could have had a long day, at work. You could have been tired. I can't call you a casual because you fell asleep. No, no. All right, mailbag Fly Hawaii says when the Lions win the Super Bowl after Davenport goes out for the season after Game 3, should he get a ring? Sure. If 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 you're on the team, you get a ring. You know, you're gonna get a ring. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that ring. Do up, do up, do up, do up, do up, do up. Mailbag Taylor May says I won't be watching it again. Does that make you golf phobic? What? That doesn't make me anything. If you not watching it again, it would make you something. It got nothing to do with me, but I'm pretty sure. Um, Shout out Independent Aquaman. I'm surprised that he tuned in a couple times when I was on LNU because he unsubscribed from me because apparently I'm golf phobic and I'm a casual. So Shout out the double mailbag shot at Independent Aquaman. All right, any more mailbag questions? Mailbag, mailbag. I should record that. I should record it and make it a drop. And great, great, great. All right, I just came back so that we can end this properly. It's amazing. Um, I can't even sign into my thing here. Hold on, I have to pull this up from the phone. 1 second, 1 second. Okay, so just to see the chat. Okay, all right, mailbag. Taylor made media says, when you met Chili that time, what did her hair smell like? I did not get close enough to smell her hair. That also would have been weird because we were in Walmart. Like, oh, can I smell your hair? That would have been very, very weird. Flying Hawaii, yes, the stream did freeze and it did crash. I had to restart it. So, um, and then when I got back in, something happened with my I guess my account was signed into the wrong email, so I couldn't open it up, which is crazy. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it was signed into another account that I have. Um yeah. Fly to Hawaii. It's almost as if you need better gear. Yeah, man, I do. um, so hold on, I can get back to this now. Shout out, we have reached over 800 subscribers. We are at 802 now. So appreciate the shares and the likes and the subscribes. Um, I'm mad because when I left the other situation, I was at 1,500. But I had to start from scratch. So I've done this for what, 5 months now, around 4 months. Yeah. So, um, yeah, man, we are making my way downtown. Dun, 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 and I'm homebound. Dun, 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 dun. Walk. Hold on. Make my way downtown, walking fast. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, we all used to know the words. I don't know the words no more. Appreciate you flying Hawaiian. Um, yeah, we're making our way back. And I hope to make my way much farther up. There are some people that I want to surpass. If I were to surpass them, they might harm themselves. So nothing would make me happier. I know that sounds bad, but if you understood the history, you'd be like, man, I hope they harm themselves too. But if they keep racking up $20,000 medical bills in 30 minutes, mm, you know, it might not be. I might not need to hope too much longer. But it is what it is. All right. So, any more mailbag questions before we go? We got the stream back up after the crash. Only one crash today. Um, and that was the crazy thing is that it happened right when we were about to get off there. So, let me see if I can pull this back up. Okay, there we go. Um, Once the season starts, things will really pick up. Yeah. So the crazy thing is, most of this has been in the off season. So getting 800 mostly in the off season is pretty damn good, actually. Um, Especially now because there is nothing to talk about. Um, so I guess I mean that's a testament to people that come through. They just like to hang out with me. So I appreciate everybody for the time spent with me, the time spent watching me, the time spent interacting with me, because I could not do what I do if it wasn't for you, because I'd just be sitting here talking to myself. So I appreciate everybody. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, and like I said, I've got some things that I got to work on. I'm almost finished with one. I think I got to do some more debugging. Uh, Tactical Sport can tell you debugging is the worst thing ever. Uh, so it is not fun. You get bogged down. Oh, we get some more mailbag. Who do you think gets more playing time between Tesla and Patrick? Patrick, not even a question. Um, well, you can talk about getting rid of Broderick Martin anytime. uh, it's a cool hang, DP. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Taylor Made. Um, yeah, debugging is like you fix it and it breaks over here, and then you go over here and you fix this and it breaks over there. It's just like running around like a chicken with your head cut off. It's awful. But once you finally get the final product out, it's a it's a huge sense of accomplishment. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work on that. Um, and yes, I will catch you guys mañana. I think that means Monday, or does it mean tomorrow? I don't know. I think does it mean Monday? Anybody speak Spanish? Um, how old is Patrick? Like 44? No, I think Patrick is like, what is he, 31, 32 maybe? I just don't expect Tesla to get a ton of playing time. I mean, he's very overhyped, and it's crazy. It's crazy because here's the reason why it's crazy. He had no production in college. I understand that his quarterback sucked, but he's got to get acclimated into this offense and get used to timing, because he didn't have to be on time. Okay, here's the thing. There's a guy who got blocked on Twitter by JMO. I don't know if y'all know this. He's a guy, okay? He got blocked on Twitter by JMO. And his thing was he even brought a guest on his show one time just to bag on JMO, and for this guy to confirm that JMO was a freelancer, as if it's a bad thing. So the thing about JMO is JMO's super duper fast. And sometimes when people are super duper fast and they go to college, coaches go, just get open. We'll throw you the football. And they told his quarterbacks, he's going to get open down the field. You just throw that thing as far as you can and let him run under it. That's college offense. It's not a bad thing. That's how they do it in college. So when you get out of college and then you go to the NFL and you get into an offense that's a timing offense, because let's be honest, not every offense in the NFL is a timing offense. Ours is. So when you get in the NFL and you get involved in an offense which is predicated upon timing, route depth, what have you, you must improve your route running. You must improve your timing with the quarterback. You must be where you are supposed to be when you are expected to be there. So that was what JMO had to get used to. And guess what JMO's done? He's gotten used to that. Okay? Because instead of bagging on JMO and just going, hey, he's young and he needs to get used to it. No, some people want to be right all the time. So they bring on guests that look like idiots and talk about how they are right. And JMO is loved by this coaching staff and his teammates. So with Tesla, it's going to be, I think, the same type of process. He has to get used to the timing. He's got to get used to the offense. He's got to get used to not freelancing because that's what he did in college. So I don't think that he's going to get a ton of playing time, especially with the emergence of Tim Patrick, especially Tim Patrick being healthy. I think he'll be the backup. I think he'll have some packages. He'll be he'll be there in spots, but I don't think he's going to get a ton of playing time. Timmy P doesn't get a ton of playing time, so no, I don't think so. Let me pop this back out because I'm looking down here, looking down my glasses. You talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got about 3 cars. I got one in the shop. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was supposed to get, I got 2 payments left on that one. Shout out. Hashtag if you know, you know. I don't hablo Espanol. The man is in fact 44. No, he's not. Leave Timmy P alone. Tactical Sports says, I tried debugging in blocks. I also have a separate page where I test my methods by themselves before I introduce it into the main project. Yeah, I get you. I get you. I got one in the shop. um, Also print statements, and more print statements. I feel you. So anyway, was that answer clear about not Tim Patrick, but about Isaac Tesla? Okay. It's not hate. You know what I mean? It's just based on what I said, he's got to get time on task. And he's gotta get used to being where he's supposed to be. That's all. You know, but it might be slightly easier for him because he was a quarterback at Hillsdale College, but I think they were running wing T. So I mean, really, he doesn't have a lot of experience in pro style anything. So I think he's gonna have to catch up and get up to speed before he gets on the field. All right. So finally, I went on my spiel, but I'm gonna get off. So I appreciate y'all once again for hanging out, stopping by for conversation and a drink. I don't have a drink today, but you know I usually have one. But appreciate you guys, man. Keep on smashing like buttons. Keep on sharing. You're already subscribed, so. You keep getting me, man. With this. All right. What do I think of Hassanin really? What I think of Hassanin really is that he's raw. He was drafted in the 6th round. He's got talent. He had some production in college. But again, that was college. He was drafted in the 6th round. I compare him to James Houston. James Houston had 19 sacks his last year in college. Okay, but he came in the 6th round and nobody knew anything about him. It wasn't until he burst on the scene with 8 sacks in 7 games that everyone wanted to either love him or hate him. And I think it's if there's not a similar bursting onto the scene, you know, do I think he has the ability? Yes. Do I think he needs time on task and he has to learn, develop, and grow? Yes. Okay. That's what I think about him. All right. So was Tom Brady. I did again. I got you. I Every time we say this, I understand that Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round, but Tom Brady is the GOAT. That he's one of one. Everybody drafted in the 6th round is not going to turn out to be Tom Brady. I do believe Ahmed Hassanin has the ability to turn out and be very, very good for this team. Do I think it is going to be in his rookie year? I don't. I don't because he has to learn. He's only been playing football for 5 years. Okay, and that's it. So stop crowning him and let him develop. That's the way that I think. Okay, if he develops into something great, fantastic. If he doesn't, 6th round. That's all I'm saying. All right. Once again, I'm out of here. Motor City Cats are back at it. We came to give you stats and not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out.